Okay, all right, so let's go on the record in the matter of Danny Mead, 211803. And appearance, counsel?
Attorney Corey Westmoreland, appearing on behalf of Mr. Mead. Mr. Mead, would you unmute yourself and state your name for the record?
No, sir, you have to unmute yourself, Mr. Mead. Okay, please state your name for the record.
Danny Mead.
All right, and so today's date scheduled for probation violation. You're on probation for possession of controlled substance. It's alleged you tested positive for cocaine on May 30th and failed to pay. This will be technical violations number 4 and 5. And counsel?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, I did have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Mead regarding the allegations. At this time, we are prepared to waive any sort of contested hearing and enter a guilty plea on my client's behalf.
All right, Mr. Mead, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear from the testimony about to give this man be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. And sir, excuse me, as to the allegation you tested positive for cocaine, how do you plead?
Guilty.
As to the allegation you failed to pay, how do you plead?
Guilty with an explanation.
Excuse me. And you've gone over your advice of rights with your attorney, correct? For probation
Yes,
violation purposes?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understood all of those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
You also understand that by entering into a plea, you'll be waiving some of those rights, specifically your trial right, your right to a contested hearing, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand the possible penalty as a result of your plea, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And specifically the recommendation that you be sentenced to jail. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And knowing all that, do you still want to continue with your plea?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and counsel, if you can please body your client.
Sure. Mr. Mead, are you currently on probation out of the Wyandotte District Court?
Yes.
As a term and condition of your probation, are you to not test positive for any drugs or alcohol that you don't have a prescription for?
Yes, sir.
Did you in fact test positive for cocaine on May 30th of this year?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that that's a violation of your probation?
Yes, sir.
Additionally, have you failed to pay off your costs and fines as ordered by probation?
Yes, sir.
You understand that's a violation of your probation?
Yes, sir.
Satisfied, Your Honor.
The court is also satisfied the plea is knowing, voluntary, and factually accurate. The court will accept your plea to the probation violation. And as to the recommendation, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. I would simply just be asking this honorable court for leniency on behalf of my client. He's made a mistake. He's owned it. He's taken responsibility for it. What I would like to note and highlight is that Mr. Mead has not had a violation in roughly 6 months. He's apologetic for his actions. I would like you to know that he is self-employed. He is aware fully that he owes the money. He has a couple big contracts that are coming to an end where he's going to be receiving payment in full for those jobs. So he will be able to pay all his costs and fines off in full. At this time, Your Honor, I would just be asking for leniency on his behalf. He's been open and upfront and honest with this honorable court. He's not trying to deceive anybody in any way. So again, he hasn't had a violation in roughly 6 months. I would just ask for leniency on behalf of Mr. Mead.
All right. And so, Mr. Mead,
Yes, ma'am.
let's talk about this cocaine for a minute.
Okay.
You had matters dismissed in 2021 under 7411, felony matters, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And that was also for possession, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were in this court from a matter that occurred prior to that one. This is from September of 21. And that was also for possession, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And all of these have been for cocaine, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And now you are here testing positive for cocaine.
Your Honor,
Yeah,
6 months.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you previously had, you had prior probation violations out of this court for this offense that were also positive for cocaine, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Specifically two, so this would be your third positive cocaine test, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so why should I not adopt the recommendation for 30 days jail, sir?
Your Honor, I'm doing better than I ever have. 6 months. 6 months, I never thought I'd see it. I made a big mistake in a moment of weakness. And I can promise you, nothing you can do will compare to what I've done to myself. Like I said, I'm beating myself up over it. I can't believe it happened. It's just like one moment of weakness with some people I haven't seen in a long time. And I know it's no excuse, but 6 months, 6 months. I'm getting my life back. Everything's starting to fall into play. Talking to my family again. I've earned back my respect. I'm back in the church. I'm working all the time. And the only reason that I haven't paid the fines as of yet, I've been doing a lot of big commercial contracts that I never have done before. And I had to pay out of pocket for payroll and all the expenses. So in 2 weeks, I get a check and I just planned on paying the whole thing off.
Sir, you were sentenced January of 2022. It's been almost 18 months that you've been on probation. You haven't made one payment.
No, I've made payments.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have made some payments. You've made $600, not even, well, about $600 worth of payments.
I'm sorry.
You've made about $600 worth of payments.
Yeah, like I said, in 2 weeks, I've got a $18,500 check coming, and I'll be paying everything off. I can come down today and pay a couple $100, just money I was putting aside for rent. I don't know, Your Honor. You believed in me. You gave me a break, and I let you down, but I let myself down too.
So, sir, what happened that you relapsed?
Hanging around with people I haven't seen in years, and it was there. Everybody was doing. I should have just turned around and left, but I did one line and I left, and it was too late to take it back.
Well, sir, I understand that you've been making strides, that you haven't had a violation in 6 months. Well, 5 months.
Well,
6 months. 6 months. However, your violations continue to be the same thing, positive for cocaine.
Your Honor, if you'll give me one chance, one last chance, I promise you. Before I was an alcoholic, I drank every day, all day. I was on fentanyl. I did that all day long. I laid in the bed kicking 2 weeks with no medication to get rid of it. The alcohol made me sick on top of that. I've made enormous strides. I'm not, I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to tell you the situation. I've made changes that probably saved my life.
Sir, I can understand and appreciate that, and I'm not discrediting any of that. However, you still chose to use a line of cocaine on May 30th. You have no idea what was in it. There could have been fentanyl. That could have been the last one you ever did because you didn't have a chance to do another one.
I realize that.
This is your 4th and 5th violations for the same violation. You're continuing to use cocaine while you're on probation for possession of cocaine. You previously had a felony matters that you pled to, dismissed under advisement. And so the court's going to indicate under advisement status, we're revoking probation, closing the case on improvement, $50 probation violation fee, 30 days jail.
Oh. Your Honor.
Sir, I gave you opportunities. I gave you multiple opportunities. You still even have warrants that you haven't cleared up.
I know, I've been working towards it. I was in a hole, a pretty deep hole. Just trying to climb out.
You have
Your
to
Honor,
report, what is that?
I want to say one thing though. Regardless of everything, thank you for what you did for me and making me see that I had to change my life. It wasn't wasted.
Well, I'm glad, sir, that you did get something out of it. The court's going to also indicate as a deferred sentence is not going to be there anymore, that you will have a suspended license.
What's that?
Your license will end up being suspended, sir.
For how long?
180 days.
Oh, wow.
Well, sir, because your under advisement is being revoked, it's going to hit your record, and so that's what's going to happen. So you are to report today at 6 o'clock.
Oh, wow. Oh, no.
Contact Michelle. She'll tell you how you go about reporting, sir.
All right.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go off the record.